In this video, we'll have a look at how I've got my VControl Touch configured. We'll go through the stick setup, switch selection, apps, and screen layout. I use a hybrid setup, which is thumbs on top and forefinger on the front. This allows me to be precise with the sticks, but my forefinger can lift if necessary during fast movements or at the extremes. As I covered in another video, I'm using a sprung throttle to return the sticks to center. The sticks are on their shortest, which is about 26mm above the square block, and the threaded rod is almost poking out the top. I've had these stick-ins for a few years. I'm not sure where I got them from, but they are similar to the ones on the DX8, which is what I had before. The points do get blunted and slippery over time, but I've fixed that a few times using a file. Spring tension is on the loose side. From default, I think I've turned the springs down to their shortest. I have the two main switches on top here. This is off with the switch down, and this is bank 1 with the switch down. The reason I do it this way is that with a hybrid grip, the top of the forefinger can touch the switch when it's down, which is irritating. Bank 1 is for hovering, so I don't reach the extremes there, and for bank 2 and 3, the switch is away and won't touch. And for this one, once it's at run, it won't touch, and from throttle hold it's also in an easy position to nudge to bail out. The two switches in the middle I don't use for anything. They stay in the up position, so I have space for the middle finger to rest on top. And the lower two switches are for my secondary functions. This one reads out my telemetry, which is typically RPM, amps, and throttle output. And this one takes a screenshot. I use this mostly when I'm in the vibration analysis screen and I want to grab a shot of the vibration level or frequencies for later. Under general settings, I haven't changed much. I use cloud services enabled so I get my logs uploaded to VStabby automatically. I have active idle on, and auto switch off is at 30 seconds. This is long enough to change packs without turning off, but not so long that it stays powered up for minutes, which can add up during the day. For installed apps, let's have a look at the devices page. I've got all the basic apps loaded except for Multicopter and Wireless Sim. Under extensions, I have user screens, battery logbook, BuddyBox, and screenshot, as well as news and BMFA failsafe, but those last two aren't necessary. Under setup, it's just the macro cells. Although I don't use them, I think they are required for one of the other apps I have installed. Under system, it's just update and auto install. I've tried home zone and sim via Wi-Fi in the past with some success, but not enough to be worthwhile. For telemetry, it's just the apps relevant to what hardware you have on the heli. I'm not sure why I need the temperature sensor app, but perhaps that was installed when I flew someone else's machine. Although I fly all my models by capacity, the timer is useful when testing other models that don't have the sensor feature. The voice is Susan's, and the talking switches and telemetry are disabled as I use the Pro apps for those. Under professional apps, I have Talking Telemetry Pro. This gives me custom telemetry readouts when I hit a switch. The standard talking telemetry is good enough, and I wouldn't pay for Pro just for this, but it does give a little more control over what's being read out, and it will also do multiple switches. I don't use the Vibration Analysis Pro as I think it's overcomplicated and only useful for specific situations. I haven't had a chance to use the Evo oscilloscope yet, but in case someone lets me fly one, it'll be interesting to see if it's of any use. And under old devices, I just have the old VBar setup. I could probably get rid of that, but you never know when someone with a mini V is going to ask for help. For the screen layouts, I have two screens that I use. They both look the same, but one is for Scorpion and the other one is for Hobbywing. It's done that way because they each have their own custom widgets. I've refined the screen a few times, and these values are the ones that I find that are most useful to me. My VControl came with one battery when I bought it, so I installed a second battery, which now gets me through a long weekend. I also made up a fast charger for the van, which is just a lead that goes straight into the 12-volt power socket. I hardly ever use the wall charger now, as this charges while I drive to and from the field. And it's also useful if the battery gets low at the field, as I can just leave it in the van for 20 minutes and it'll be good for the rest of the day. And that's my basic VControl setup. Until next time, good luck.